Night and day, year in, year out, the blast furnaces of Australia's heavy industries turn out streams of molten iron for the subsequent manufacture of steel. BHP's Newcastle works alone can produce 1 million tons a year. Steel for the waiting market, raw material for the vast engineering industry urgently in need of this key product, which is helping Australia towards self-sufficiency. Steel for ships, steel for railways, steel for fences for the man on the land. Wire netting, fencing wire and barbed wire are made from these coils of rods at Ryland Brothers, Newcastle, New South Wales. The rod is cold drawn through a series of dies, getting smaller and smaller, and the finer the wire, the faster it is wound on the spools, finally reaching a speed of up to 30 miles an hour. The man on the land needs these products to run his farm efficiently, for without them the price of eggs, poultry, wheat, even vegetables must be affected. Chicken wire is made on an ingenious loom. Haven't you ever wondered how it's done? Well, now you know. Or do you? Machines are heavily taxed to overcome wartime lag. Barbed wire is made at high speed, but let's slow the machine down to reveal the operation. The barbs are made from a single strand of wire that is threaded, cut and pointed as the main strands run through the machine. With the barbs in position, the wire is quickly rolled into the coils ready for transportation. Here are the steel fence posts, so popular with farmers because they save digging post holes and last such a long time. White ants won't fatten on this type of fencing. When the farmer gets them, they're ready to put in, sharpened, punched to take the wires, and black varnish to prevent rusting. Wire rope is made by the Australian Wire Rope Works, who get their wire from Rylands. Wire rope for lifts, cranes, mines, ships and dredges. Here again, an ingenious machine winds the heavy gauge wire around a core of ordinary hemp rope. The strength of the hawser is, of course, in the wire casing, and the hemp core takes none of the strain it would be subjected to in operation. Your water and gas pipes are made from an endless ribbon of steel called scalp at Stewart's and Lloyd's Newcastle Pipeworks. The making of a common water or gas pipe is a most interesting operation, performed entirely by machines. The coils of scalp are unrolled and flash welded end to end to form a continuous strip of metal. This runs through a long, narrow furnace 150 feet in length. It passes through a series of rolls which bend it first into a U-shape, then into an incomplete circle, and finally press the edges together to form a complete pipe. A traveling saw slices through the pipe to cut it off to the right length. Then it is passed through an acid bath to clean it and a zinc bath to galvanize it. The pipe comes out continuously at a rate of up to 4 miles an hour. There is also the seamless tube, designed to withstand high pressure, manufactured by the push bench process. A hot billet of steel known as a bottle is forced through a series of dies by a mandrel or long piston. The dies are progressively smaller, and finally what was a solid billet of steel becomes a long weldless tube. The whole process from the billet to the tube takes only a few minutes of spectacular activity. The rough ends of the tubes are cut away by a saw, and the weldless tube is about ready for use. Pipes for the waiting market. Steam and high-pressure pipes, gas and water pipes for the building and construction program, which also demands large quantities of corrugated iron, manufactured at Lysart's Newcastle Works. Getting the curl in corrugated iron is really a simple operation. Steel tires, axles, wheels for locomotives, trains and other rolling stock are made at Commonwealth Steel Company. First, the original ingot is cut into slices. Each of these slices is called a cheese. Preliminary forging of the cheese is carried out on a 2,000-ton press. Then a hole is pierced through the cheese and the tire in miniature assumes its first crude shape. It goes through a second forging or becking operation which roughly shapes the tire. You can see the flange beginning to appear under the hammer beats. The diameter of the embryo tire is still, of course, far too small for a railway wheel, and the next process along the production line takes care of that deficiency. This electrically controlled rolling mill shapes the tire into its final form, expanding its circumference and bringing up the flange which keeps rolling stock on the rails. The tire is then quenched with carefully controlled water sprays to make the tire hard and tough so that it can stand up to the heavy wear and tear that it will get in the service of the railway systems. Finally, the completed forging goes to the lathe to be machined into the finished tire. The Commonwealth Steel Company makes the complete wheel sets: wheel, tire and axle. The company also specializes in large forgings and castings ranging from steamship shafts to diesel crankshafts and gun barrels many tons in weight. Commonwealth Steel Company makes many special purpose steels in the electric furnaces. Over 160 different types to suit the rigid specifications of industry. There are many types of stainless steel, for instance, which has become tremendously popular in the home, in the factory, and in the hospital. A stainless steel ingot is being rolled into a billet as raw material for industrial use. From that beginning, it may find 1,000 different shapes. Here, a stainless steel sheet has had an initial rolling. It is extremely tough and hard to work and has to be passed back and forth between the rollers many times to reduce it to the required gauge. There are grades of stainless steel which resist almost every corrosive condition normally encountered. This steel is increasingly used for saucepans, milk tanks, brewing vats, textile plants, cosmetic and patent medicine manufacture, in sinks and drainage boards, photographic equipment, table knives, and countless other products. Stainless steel takes a very high polish. The sheets are first subjected to the emery mop, and the characteristic high polish of stainless steel begins to appear. From there, the sheet goes under the continuous emery belt of the planishing machine. The belt travels at high speed over the surface of the metal. So the secondary steel industries play their vital part in the supply of steel products to the nation. Giant, intricate machines operated by skilled hands not only meet the needs of engineers, builders, farmers, but also of the many fabricating factories throughout the length and breadth of the Commonwealth, which convert the primary material into articles in daily use. For steel is the very heart of industry, and on it, Australia is building a bright industrial future.